All right, whenever you're ready.
How many of you have had friends that have played football or you've played football in the past? Okay, so people close. So football is becoming a safer sport, and it's because of all the new rules that are being put in over the last couple of years. CTE has become a serious issue for many of these former players as they move on with their lives. CTE is caused by repetitive hits to the head and most notably caused by concussions. CTE has been linked to repeated blows to the head since Andrews 2017, NFL.com Northwestern Journalism. Concussions have been taking a toll on many athletes, and it's a serious issue that's risen up over the last 10 years. Football is on its way to becoming a much safer sport, but some players have even committed suicide by gunshots to the chest because they want to preserve their brains for further research. As a football player, I've enjoyed playing the sport of football. These repercussions that can occur are scary and make me wonder what can be done to stop them. Today I'm going to explain what the NCAA and the NFL have been doing to continually making the sport safer. My main points I'll cover are how football is becoming a safer sport, what technology and changes have been helping the sport, and what the sport will look like in the future. A specific purpose statement is football is becoming a safer sport because of all the rules being put in. First, we're going to go back to where concussions were becoming increasingly noticeable. In 2007 was the first year the concussions were taken seriously. The first move in the right direction was when the NFL formalizes new concussion guidelines, which include a telephone hotline to report when a player is being forced to play contrary to a medical advice. Mandel 2017, CNN.com, Journalism Masters at University of Texas. By 2010, the NFL was bringing in experts to help each NFL team and the commissioner to advise them on what to do when concussions occur. This was a step in the right direction as much of the technology had not come out yet, and they were just figuring out what the symptoms were and how to deal with it. And CTE was raising concern for many people. Researchers found that 110 out of 111 former NFL players had CTE. Goldman 2017, NPR.org, over the last 20 years he's been covering major sports. CTE can only be diagnosed after death, so it's impossible to tell while someone is living if they have CTE or not. But it's easy to figure out based on if they have concussions or not regularly during their playing career. Many former players have committed suicide by gunshot, specifically to save their brain for research. Some of these players were playing in the older times, but some names were like Junior Seau, some big names. They really were struggling and they were in a lot of pain. But some good news is that concussions have gone down since 2012. But it's been idle the last few years as there has not been enough done currently to get it finished. There's been major rule changes that prevent players from suffering concussions on specific plays. Giving a receiver running a pass route defenseless player protection. Bolton 2017, Parade.com, covering the NFL since 1997. As well as moving the kickoff up 5 yards from the 30 to 35 and moving where they get the ball from the 20 to 25. This allows more touchbacks to go out of the end zone, and when it's not a touchback, it persuades the returner to take a knee and get the ball 5 yards further up the field. Lots of improvements are still to be made. So looking forward, tackling styles have changed. Instead of leading with the head or having the head cross one's body, players now try to put it behind them or try to take it out of the play completely. Some of the CTE levels of players, you can notice that in the NFL, only one player out of the 111 did not have CTE, and 15 had mild CTE, with 95 people having severe. It also occurred in the Canadian Football League, semi-pro, and college. So this is what the tackling style that people are putting.
Hi, this is Coach Pete Carroll of the Seattle Seahawks. And thanks to the leadership of assistant head coach Rocky Seto, we've produced our 2015 tackling video. This is an updated edition of the tackling video we released last year, and it features some new points of emphasis and a review of the foundational elements of our tackling system. As we all know, basic fundamentals must be taught and reviewed constantly. This is a system we've been teaching and utilizing for the last 5 years at the Seahawks and since our days at SC. To To summarize, the tackling system features leverage-based shoulder tackling and a major emphasis on taking the head out of tackling. We strike with our leverage shoulder and keep our helmets on our leverage side, but out of the tackle. We found our style to be successful in the league and in college, and we believe it could be employed on all levels. We're passionate about teaching this style of tackling because we desire to keep the standards of the game high and make the game as safe as possible. Our tackling system has been inspired by those who play rugby around the world, and the rugby players have done a tremendous job of taking the head out of their game, and they truly exemplify shoulder tackling. You will see several clips of rugby tackling throughout this film.
So that's one of the major ways that the tackling styles have changed. And it's based off of rugby that it doesn't use helmets or pads, so it's a lot safer way to play. So yes, there are still big hits. You still will see those highlight hits of receiver getting hit really hard, but they start getting targeting penalties for those if they start hitting them above the head, and it's detrimental to the team. So these players are now trying to stay below the neck when making plays. Also, some of the new technology that's come out has been the helmet technology. This has been used at the high school level, at my former high school, as well as in college. This is the Oklahoma Sooners and the Clemson Tigers, some major Division I programs using this helmet technology. And it's just a sleeve that you put on top of the helmet that can take out a large chunk of the impact so that it's not shaking the head as much on impact. The new technology from the helmets has been able to cause high school students and college athletes to be able to reduce the amount of head trauma. Guzell 2010, 20 years of owning technology and material company. This was one of the first doctors to be able to rock the boat about helmet technology and really make a stride forward. There's still extensive research to be done about CTE and concussions. The sport of football is becoming a much safer sport. There's still a long ways to go before it's perfect, and there's still many more things that can be done. The NFL is not perfect, the NCAA is not perfect, but they're striving in the right direction. There's a lot of things that they're doing that are helping out. So what I want you guys to do is go out to your communities, talk to your local youth teams, because that's where it starts. You talk to the youth teams where these players are beginning their football careers, and they can start moving up through high school and college, knowing the right way to tackle. So go to your local communities and talk to your coaches, talk to the kids, and say, hey, this is the way you should be tackling, because it'll keep you safe.
Awesome. Great job.